reason why the white man has more money than black folk, because y'all are out here instead of learning about finances, teaching our people to start businesses.
Why you are still up, you don't realize you have acquired it. Upcoming is, hey Jesus. Upcoming is very dangerous. Upcoming, hey, even when you have it, upcoming will degrade you. Upcoming will devalue all your efforts. Upcoming is very dangerous. Is this video of this lady who met people who were preaching the gospel and handing out these gospel tracts and some like that. And the lady just went off on them. And she starts talking about the things that they should be teaching people and the things that they should know and all of that. And in the very conversation, she herself does not realize that she's doing the opposite of what she's telling them to do. I'm going to play you the video and then I'll come back here. I got something I want us to talk about in a second.
Teaching people the things that our people need to know. Y'all around here pushing the white man's agenda, all while we have a wealth gap. There's a reason why the white man has more money than black folk, because y'all are out here instead of learning about finances, teaching our people to start businesses. All of those things, you out here in the hot sun.
Sorry, what's your name, man?
And a bunch of people are suffering.
What's your name, man?
Single moms are suffering. But you're trying to push what they pushed to our ancestors on the plantation. Do you know Nat Turner? Tell me about Nat Turner. Do you know Nat Turner?
God will help you.
You do not know, you do not even know Nat Turner. You shouldn't be out here trying to talk to black folk. You need a black history lesson.
Okay.
You need to go read you need to read history. You don't know what the name of the first slave ship was.
God will transform you.
It was called Jesus. They gave you that religion on the plantation to control you.
So God bless you, man.
Have a lovely week. Yeah, stop proper lying.
I want to talk about something a little bit, and then I will read you this verse that I think is very, very important, and it goes but particularly towards this. Just give me a second. Let me break down this small little thing, and then I'll go to the verse. First of all, sometimes when people have money or when they get money, only they know. Only they know they got money. Now, when we see you, we just assume you've always had it. So it's important to understand. Yeah, we don't know you. Yes, some people are just too important in their own head because they think we all knew that they were broke. No, we don't meet you when you have money and think you were broke. We didn't know you. So we were not there when you were getting the money. We don't know. And sometimes this is why people say things like, do you know who I am? Yeah, you see, it's because they feel like their upcomingness, their upcoming, everybody knows it. And so sometimes we need to give a reality check. No, we didn't know you. So we were not there when you were getting the money. And it's good that you've got it. But stop having this idea or speaking to us as if we were there when you were getting the money, because it comes off. When a person now gets money, they feel like money is the most important thing. So, and one subject only exists. We were not there when you got your degree. This applies to everything. We were not there when you got your degree. Now, because you got your degree doesn't mean those who don't have degrees are stupid. Do you understand? It's that topic that Professor Anele got in trouble with, because they think we were there. We always think we thought you always had it. We didn't know that you were upcoming. There are people who have something, but they are still upcoming. Do you know what I mean? People who are rich, but they are upcoming. They are rich, but they are upcoming. See, so by upcoming, we mean the person who is still trying to convince us they are rich. Like they drive a very expensive car, but to them, they haven't arrived at driving that car. They need you, upcoming. This is where the upcoming comes in. They need you to recognize that they have risen. Okay? So, no, we've always assumed you've had it. When we meet you with, oh, you've always had it. Like your money and your stature right now are the same. Can't you know? We didn't know that your money is here and you are upcoming. My camera is also becoming upcoming. They don't like to be looked at as a person who doesn't have it. So because when they were studying when they were doing all their degrees to reach, they need to tell you that they have it. So that's what describes upcoming. Upcoming is a very dangerous level. Upcoming is a very dangerous level to reach, because upcoming is the reason why many people die in pride. Because you start assuming we should all know you. Do you know who I am? You know how do you know who I am? Upcoming. Upcoming celebrity. Quarter two celebrity. So this lady, she just recently came up about business. Maybe she was even in a business meeting somewhere and they were talking about business ideas that will break your life in. So now she's starting to see herself. She's starting to, and she feels like she should have come to this information quicker. So now she puts it on everyone. She puts it on every conversation. You should have told me about money. So instead of saying you should have told me about money earlier, so she makes it her point to tell people that are not there. You see, in school, there isn't only life science. Now, because you discovered life science, you heard about photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. Now, photosynthesis is now, I should have come across this information earlier. Upcoming. Hey, even when you have it, upcoming will degrade you. Upcoming will devalue all your efforts. Upcoming is very dangerous. Why? Because you don't realize you have actually gotten it. This lady suffering from upcoming. You see, the problem is not the people that are preaching. You see, because she feels like the only subject that should exist is photosynthesis. If you were listening, you will understand what I mean. Because now she just come across this information. How come I didn't know about photosynthesis all this while? You are telling me that there's word such as photosynthesis and I didn't know? So now everybody must talk about photosynthesis. No, madam, in school there is many other subjects. African spiritualist, they like that topic. They like doing that. Hey, Africa is always talking about religion. We don't talk about AI. We don't talk about manufacturing, because you just came into, you see, that problem of upcoming other subjects in the yard. Now, this is where I want to read you this verse, because I think this verse is very important. 1 Corinthians chapter number 8. Listen to what this verse, 1 Corinthians chapter number 8. Now, as things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifies. So when a person carries love and an understanding, okay, yeah, they what they have learned does not become a hindrance. Okay, they can communicate it further. He says, and if any man thinks that he knows anything, he knows nothing, yet as he ought to know. Yeah, you are supposed to know that thing. You are supposed to know, but don't come out like you ought to know. See, They told you about budgeting. You ought to know. But don't pretend that budgeting is all there is. If any man think that he knows anything, he knows nothing, as he ought to know. If any man loves God, the same is known of him. As concerning therefore the eating of those things that are offered unto idols, we know that an idol is nothing in the world. Now he's now about to make this particular idea of information. You see, you are eating something. We might be looking at the same thing. We are looking at food offered unto idols. So now he now brings it to the supremacy of God. An idol is nothing. And then when he goes down, okay, verse number 7, howbeit there is not in every man that knowledge, that the idea that an idol is nothing. He says that knowledge does not exist. Hey, I'm preaching good. He says that knowledge is not there in every man. Okay. Then he says, when he goes down, he says, for some with their conscience of an idol unto this hour, eat it as a thing offered unto idols. Their conscience being weak is defiled. Meaning a person, if they were to eat that food that they know is offered unto idols, it will mess them up. So he says it's better that those people don't. So he's speaking about being very careful pertaining how we handle it. And he says, as a matter of fact, verse number 9, he says, but take heed lest any by any means the liberty of yours becomes a stumbling block to the one who is weak. So you have learned about finance, you have learned about budgeting. Now, don't make it as if this is the only topic. Right. You see this book? This book will make you wise. This book, it says there's knowledge. We know an idol is nothing, but you're eating. Don't let it become a stumbling block. Don't do that. Before the person who believes this thing will defile, he says you would rather refrain from it. You would rather refrain. That's why I said earlier on, knowledge puffeth up. And I hope with this verse or with this talk, you are able to see why certain people do what they do. You'll see why certain people are as proud as they are. Upcoming is the problem. See, because they came into money late. Money becomes the topic we should all be talking about. Like someone will come here and literally say, hey, things are happening out there, you're talking about church. Yeah, because you see, upcoming, that's the problem. Upcoming. They do not understand. They just came into it. We've probably even known about what they are talking about for a very long time. But because they've just came into that information, they hinder every other conversation. It should only be that conversation that should be talked about. That's what you're hearing there. Knowledge puffeth up. She's right. In her idea, she's right. So next time when you meet a person who's like that, don't take offense. Take your leave. Don't take offense. Take your leave. Why? Upcoming is a disease you can't cure, except the person sees it themselves, that it hinders progressive conversations. Stereo Reality Show, we do daily Christian commentary videos. Other episodes done today, they'll be down in the pinned comments, and I must see you later on. Be very careful of the disease of upcoming.